I have the right to reach my potential. I woke up one April morning expecting it to be a completely typical day of my junior year in high school. However, if I had known what was to happen that particular day, I might have never gone to school. My morning classes were the same as always, but on the way out the door to lunch, I got a text from my mom reading, "I'm here at MHS. Come meet me in Content Mastery." Confused, I called her. She told me I was to attend a meeting to settle the question of whether or not I was eligible for reading accommodations. I walked into the room feeling quite relieved because I was sure that they were finally going to give me the help that I needed. My mom had printed out pieces of the law, several essays on dyslexic students, and my test results from diagnosticians around town. All those years of crying through sleepless nights and refusing to give up on myself despite the fact that it took me 10 times longer than anyone else to do the work, would I finally be able to squeeze in a little bit of time to hang out with my friends on the weekends after my homework was done. The meeting was a war zone. People were talking over each other, and all I heard was the reasons why it was wrong for a gifted student to ask for this kind of help. 2 hours later, I was removed from the meeting and was for screaming across the table a question I will never forget. What do I need to do to get help? Fail? The answer was what was said in what seemed like a whisper from the District 504 accommodation specialist. Yes. That one simple word sent surges of anger through my system. After that, I was removed from the room and the meeting continued another 2 hours. Finally, my parents came out and told me I would be receiving accommodations, but I still wasn't relieved. I couldn't stop wondering why I had to be a failure in order for my plea for help to be heard. The next day, I had the opportunity to address this concern when I was called to a mandatory meeting with my counselor. She told me that I shouldn't need help, and that it was my fault for choosing courses that were too challenging. She opened up my schedule and began stripping me of all my AP classes. Why was she doing this? I'm a straight A student, at the time number 35 in my class instead of 100. I told her to please leave my schedule alone and to at least long enough to consult my mother. I went home again in tears and told my mom about what had happened. She pulled out a report of my test results and explained it to me. It showed that while I was scored in the superior range of intelligence in several categories, I was scored below in the classification of mentally retarded in others. I was devastated but was too afraid to show it. All I wanted was a little bit of help, not all this. A month had passed and summer had finally come. I went to the office to pick up a transcript, and to my surprise, I had risen 10 places in my class after just a month of accommodations. Just by seeing that amount of improvement, I knew that academically, my senior year in high school and even college would be tremendously easier than the nightmare I was put through during my first 3 years of high school. At last, it all made sense. It may have been hard, it may have been uncomfortable, but in the long run, asking for help was certainly worth the discomfort. For me, all that heartbreak caused from asking for help finally paid off. I now understand that with a little bit of help, I can truly reach my potential. I feel that I am no longer defined by my challenges. It is my sincere hope that my experience will pave the way for future twice exceptional students who follow. From that day forward, I wholeheartedly believe that it's okay to say, I need help.